So today we got another massive Sims 5 leak. This one isn't just cell phone pictures, but actual direct feed screenshots of video. So let's talk about it. Hey folks, how's it going? This is Iron Seagull here, back with another Sims Info and Thoughts video. So yeah, more Sims 5 leaks, and this time they were posted on Twitter by the Sims 5 world, where an anonymous person sent all this stuff to their DMs. So we got a few screenshots to go over, and they have a much better view of the world than what we saw previously. I guess you can already go into the free cam mode using the tab key like you can in other Sims games, otherwise I'm not sure how they got shots this far out when you can only go into the build mode. Definitely looks very European like I said before. Some I've seen say it looks kind of like Paris, France, which I think would be a quite interesting world to start out with in the base game. Just reminds me of how, like, in The Sims 3, it was in World Adventures, the first expansion pack, but to actually live in France would be kind of cool. The videos even have music that claim to actually be part of this playtest, according to the leaker. Though I will just leave the link to the thread in the video description below because I don't want to risk my YouTube channel getting copyright stricken, whether right now or years down the line, if this music ends up being in the final game. But I will say it does feel less, like with The Sims 4, it feels a lot more neutral most of the time, except for packs like, you know, Vampires and Strangerville that have more kind of flavored music to them. But this does remind me a little bit more of The Sims' roots. Not quite, it still feels like its own thing. And now we're about to have a little sneak peek of the cars. I think they're very cute, and I love how that one has a parking ticket on it because, I mean, they do seem to be just parked in the bike lanes for some reason. And also that license plate saying XD on it, that's great. But even the interior of this car is modeled a little bit, so it does give me some hope that we will be able to actually have our Sims drive cars in The Sims 5. Now we're taking a look at the inside of an apartment. Very cluttered, very interesting. There's even a toaster. I mean, I hope it would be functional, but nice to see that we actually do have a toaster in a Sims game now. And there's even a plunger by that toilet. Yeah, very, very interesting decor and just furniture going on in general. Not much for me to say besides that, really. With this game being in as early development as it is, I wonder how many of these items will be in the final game. Hopefully they do keep a decent amount, especially on the clutter front. We even get to see the inside of the bathtub here, which I think looks pretty good. I am hoping that with The Sims 5, there'll be less of those blurry textures that you can so easily see, especially close up, because that does happen quite a bit in The Sims 4. Even with one of the necklace displays in the recent clutter kit, it looks so blurry and you don't even have to get that close to be able to tell. So with this being the next generation of The Sims, I hope we won't run into that nearly as often, if at all. You can even see pots and plates in the sink, which makes me wonder again, like, how much of this will actually be in the final game, because I just find it so interesting that they seem to be going pretty far with the clutter already. I know some of the items in these clips look like stuff that we already have in The Sims 4, but I wonder if they're even at this point just using some assets bought from an online marketplace until they have the final art pieces in the game. In this clip, there's even baguettes on the counters, so maybe that is a bought asset, but it would be interesting as an idea to have clutter for food so you can just set it as decor. Like how in Disney Dreamlight Valley and Animal Crossing, you can just lay food out and you don't have to worry about it spoiling ever. Now I'm going to show you this clip of going between apartments. This does give me an impression that The Sims 5 at the very least will be open neighborhoods, so you can just visit your neighbors without having to worry about hitting a loading screen like in The Sims 4. Still not sure about true open world like in the way The Sims 3 did it, but that does give me a bit more hope for this game as well, because I would not want to go through 2 Sims games in a row without at least some kind of open world or at least open neighborhood. especially considering how long The Sims 4 is going. I think The Sims 5 could potentially go on even longer. Oh, look at that art piece on the wall. That's quite interesting too. Maybe you can even like paint some murals around town, kind of like in City Living, but maybe a bit more freeform. I mean, I doubt a feature like that would be in the base game, but it would be cool to see down the line. And just flying through the city some more. Honestly, for how early this game is in development, I don't think it looks too bad. I mean, of course, in some areas they do need to spice it up more, but I would not be surprised in the final game we do have an area that looks very similar to this, and we can look back on and be like, oh yeah, that's the part of the game that leaked all those years ago. One other thing I want to show you are some Sims that were apparently hidden in the game's files. Obviously they are very incomplete, they don't even have proper eye textures, so looks a bit nightmare fuel. But what I find very interesting is that at the top of each screenshot it says package, and it shows kind of like different representations there. Like the first one is supposed to be North American, then Northeast African for the second, and for the third one, South Central American. So it is good they're already considering a variety of different ethnicities. In addition to that, there's also a screenshot of a road asset, which at first glance is not really interesting, but again, that package line, it says UE game /content /base /env, and then playable city 2. So as far as I know anyways, there's only the one city in the playtest, so why have playable city 2 in the file name at all? So to me this very strongly suggests that we will have 2 worlds in the game at launch. I mean, that wouldn't be exactly shocking, but it would still be comforting to know that we'll have at least more than one world to play in at the start, because it can get stale pretty quickly if you're stuck with only one world for many months. So that is it for the time being, so quite interesting seeing all this stuff. I mean, like with characters and Danganronpa, don't get too attached because this is still so early in development and there's a potential that at least a lot of this could change. I mean, there still could be a lot of objects that make it into the final game and such, but I think the general look of the game will change quite a bit. It still doesn't feel quite like The Sims to me yet, so we'll see how much things change. I mean, even with Paralives, from when they first announced it to now, the graphics have changed quite a bit, and they could still change even more until Paralives actually releases. Again, I will leave a link to the threads in the video description below so you can check them out for yourselves and also hear that really cool music. And that wraps it up for another Sims Info and Thoughts video, so feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below on these leaks, and be sure to subscribe if you'd like to keep up with my latest gaming content. I will talk to you all later, and have a great day. Thanks for watching!